Kelly, pleased to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
So I'm
Thanks for
here.
having me.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for this interview. I'm here with Kelly Blatz, the filmmaker behind One Fast Move. I'm just interested how this idea came about because it seems like it's a very lived-in film. Did the
Hmm.
idea come out of thin air, or just were you inspired by the people who you've come across in your life? Because you really let these scenes breathe and you really let us feel this family dynamic.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, starting with the character piece, yeah, it came from my own life and lives of friends and family members over the years, but especially the time between, your late 20s coming into closer to 30. There's a transition that happens with young men into manhood where they're pulled in many different directions and they're looking for mentors and what it means to be a man in the modern world. Is it to be a family man? Is it just to pursue your dream at all costs, at the expense of anybody? And so that really came from all of my questions, as well as my own relationships in my own life. And just on a practical level with the motorcycles, I'm a motorcyclist myself, and obviously it was exciting and thrilling and everything to ride motorcycles. But it also there was a personal meeting throughout that time I was riding, and it was a way for me to calm myself and to deal with my own fears, and it was a form of meditation. And so yeah, One Fast Move really came from a love letter to motorcycles and what it gave me, and also the personal relationships and challenges that I was having in my own life.
On those challenges, filming the motorcycle sequences, I'm assuming just as a layperson, as a cinephile, those scenes must have been hard to capture. And in layman's terms, what is the key to actually making them effective? Because you have to shoot them, you have to have the shot list. Most importantly, you have to make sure
Yeah.
you nail it on the edit. So how do you do it? How did you do
Yeah.
it?
No, thank you. Many different ways. One is you got to get an amazing team. Like I surrounded myself with so many incredible people who were specialized in. We had Greg Smers as a second unit director who was a racer himself and who shot the Mission Impossible motorcycle sequences for Tom Cruise. We had a number of actual motorcycle racers on the set, incredible stunt drivers and riders. So a lot of it was done in preparation. For me with the races, I choreographed and essentially wrote like a separate script for the races that was a sort of beat by beat of what happens in each lap, on each turn in each track, and where each character is. And we used that as a sort of roadmap for when we were actually going to shoot the scenes. Now, then it was about finding the tools. And so, what are the tools that are going to be used to not only make this exciting and feel subjective to the audience, but also that is going to capture the speed, because these bikes are going 150, 60, 70 miles an hour. So, we had to find ways to rig cameras to an actual race bike. We had to build a custom race car to be able to follow these bikes. We used a helicopter to keep up because drones could not. So, all of that goes into shooting the scenes and capturing that excitement. And then as far as the edit, it's just, we took about a year basically until we finally were able to feel like these were condensed, tight, exciting, races.
What was the shooting on the day? Not going to give spoilers at all, but there is a moment where KJ and Eric, they're facing off each other as men and father and son, and they're coming to sort of the truth. And what was that day like for you shooting? And then just on the edit, how good did you feel just to know that you nailed that as well? It's such a resonant sequence.
Are you speaking about the last sequence or the character piece?
Oh, the
The,
last sequence, yeah, that last sequence
oh,
where,
the last sequence.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that reckoning.
Gosh, the race scene you're saying.
I mean, no, the reckoning where they're actually head on to each other. No, not that sequence.
Got you. Got you.
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to be clear.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. So for me, that scene really was when the boiling point happened, right? Wes shows up with this question that he wants to confront this guy with it, which is, you know, why did you leave? Well, how could you have done this to me? And see if he actually owns up to it. And so, both men I think are very scared to open up emotionally. And so there's this armor throughout the whole film. And as the stakes rise and complications arise, and Wes starts to lose all the things that are good in his life now, he has to finally be forced to ask that question, which is what happened? Why did you leave? And they were just incredible. Eric and KJ took that material and I just gave them full freedom and they just ran with it. And we shot that scene. I think it was one of the last, I wanted it to be one of the last scenes we shot with them in the film so that we can save it. And they were just incredible. I feel so grateful, not only for the whole film to have them, but for that scene. I just moves me every single time.
I'm very excited for your directing career, Kelly, because on one hand you can direct these really cool escapist action fare, but there's a lot of depth to your material. And I'm wondering, where did that inner depth come from? Maybe I'm looking at your filmography the last several years, a couple movies I really want to check out. But working with people like Tom Bauer, Jacqueline
Mm.
Bisset, and just learning from them and them learning from you, by the by, were those sort of subconscious influences in who you are as a person and as a filmmaker, and that will help you move forward in your artistic life?
Well, first, no, thank you so much for the kind words. For me, well, and first of all, Tom Bauer just passed away this year, and rest in peace. He was a wonderful man and became a wonderful mentor to me, throughout my career after I worked with him. I was so lucky to be able to work with so many talented, incredibly experienced actors throughout my career. And for me, I'm always seeking mentors, whether that's in books, mentors who have passed on, 1,000 years ago, or it's people in my own life who I'm able to work with, and who I'm lucky enough to be able to sit down with and ask about life and these questions that I have. And absolutely, all of these wonderful people, Jacqueline Bisset, they've shaped who I am, my family, my parents, and for me, filmmaking is a way, and storytelling is a way to deal with these questions that you have in your own life, and going through experiences and having these thematic questions. While I was writing One Fast Move, I was going through a time where I thought, what is the right way to go? To is it to go and be a family man, to be a father? If I do that, am I going to sacrifice, my goals and my dreams? Am I not going to have time to be able to do what I want to do? And it was that pull of two different directions that was the theme for me in One Fast Move, to go, you know what? Throughout making this film, I realized it's not mutually exclusive. You can have both, and it's important to have both. So, as a long answer to your question, yeah, I was just lucky to have wonderful mentors and people in my life, who I'm able to talk about with all of this.
Kelly, two more quick questions. First off, I can't
Yeah.
wait to see Senior Love Triangle, but from that journey to where you are now, what is the biggest lesson you've learned as a filmmaker, a craft that you've honed between those films that you have now?
Well, Senior Love Triangle, which is just means so much to me, that film. The practical thing is that this was on a much bigger scale. Obviously there was all the stunts, and you're working with a much bigger crew. So for me, going into it, I always knew that I wanted to approach it the same way I did Senior Love Triangle, which is a small character piece about four people, and really focusing on that being the center and the heart. But I also have to do that now with a much bigger palette, and with stunts and action and all these things. And so that was a massive learning experience of just managing and working with a huge crew of people. Was just something that now, moving forward, I feel like I will be able to, again, work in whatever space, whether it's a small character film, or if it somehow takes place in a bigger arena. I feel like I'm ready to take on a new challenge, I guess.
And finally, Kelly, it seems to me from your body of work and your transition from acting and filmmaking and actually doing both, still doing both, can you name a movie that really continues to influence you as a person and it's very important as far as your own journey as a person and as a cinephile? What makes this movie specifically unique for you?
What film do I?
Yeah,
And
like a movie, one of your
oh,
favorite movies that
oh,
means a lot to you.
Goodwill Hunting. Goodwill Hunting. Gus Van Sant's Goodwill Hunting. Absolutely. That film is my favorite film of all time. I will watch it a few times a year. To me, you know, that that film moves me every single time. It's about a few characters who are dealing with their own pains and losses in their lives and in their past, who come together, and through intimacy and through truth are able to deal with and grow and face their biggest fears, which are usually not something outside themselves, it's something within themselves. And because of that, are able to move forward in hope and in light and in truth, and in goodness. And for me, that film, I mean, nobody can watch that film and not be moved by the performances and the story. So uh, that one, that one means a lot to me.
Kelly, thank you so much for your time, and I really enjoyed One Fast Move.
Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate your time and as well as watching the film and all your kind words. Thank you.
I'm gonna talk to you soon. Take care.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Thank you.